Good afternoon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone. Welcome to the Just Gonna Say It podcast. We're going to chat a little bit about some stuff. And yeah, it's kind of cool. We had a pretty interesting video come out yesterday, so we'll chat about that a little bit. If you have questions that you want to ask about guitar stuff, put them over here in the chat, and with a bunch of question marks in front of them. Please put a bunch of question marks in front of them, or use a super chat. We'll drop what we're doing and we'll answer those ones right away. So yeah, man, I hope everybody's having a great week. Hope everybody enjoyed some time off this past weekend and was able to do a bunch of cool stuff, see some family, maybe that kind of thing. So yeah, as you are all aware, we do not have sponsors on this show, so do me a favor and check out the links in the description to Sweetwater and StewMac and, of course, Dylan Talks Tone to buy some stuff, because that is the way we do it around here for supporting this channel, because we don't necessarily have, like I said, we don't have sponsors. So anyway, thanks for coming and hanging out this week. All right, we'll throw that thing up there. How's everybody doing? Let's see. Hatless. Yep. Yeah, you're probably going to see more hatless on Tuesdays, because I have things to do after this. That's why we keep it to an hour, because I do have obligations after this on Tuesdays usually. And so basically I just shower before this, and yeah, cool. So you guys obviously all saw the thumbnail, and the reason I put that there is I was thinking this morning, well, obviously reactions to videos, that's always a thing, right? Like we could talk about that for days. Hang on one second. We got a super chat and we'll get back to this. Let's see. What is your definition of old? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. I will answer that, because only you can prevent forest fires. Only you can answer that. You're installing the anniversary pickups while watching. Excellent. I actually have 2 more sets to ship, and we will be done with all of those. Thank you, everybody, for supporting that whole thing. That was really cool. I'm actually really stoked that it went the way it did. And we've got some other special edition stuff coming that's really cool. Let me see if I've got... Oh, I don't have it in... Oh, hang on. Maybe I do. Yeah, some of the Cerakoted stuff. I think some of the Cerakoted stuff actually already shipped or already sold. We've got the whiteout DAF and Super 8s on the website now. I think we've sold a few of those already. Those are a limited run thing. There will be a bare nickel up there that will be limited that we will do. So we've got a few things. Some limited Strat stuff, some limited Tele stuff. It's kind of fun to do these little one-off little things and give you guys some kind of custom options for your various little builds and projects that you're doing. So just keep an eye on that page on the website. Are you planning on doing rewinds to the Squire stuff? No, not at this time. Can you do zebra pickups that are white and black and not cream and black? That's going to be on our short run list here pretty soon. We are working on that. You may see that in the next few weeks. We will not offer it as an option. So here's the problem with a lot of this stuff, is it makes it really difficult for me to inventory parts. So those of you that follow the channel a lot, and those of you that follow the videos a lot, will know, and our Instagram at Dylan Talks Tone and Facebook page at Dylan Talks Tone will know right away. Also Patreon, when that stuff comes out. because what I'll do is I'll order it in kind of shorter little blocks and then just sell them out. It's really hard for me to keep every option for everything in stock, as you could imagine. It's kind of hard for anybody to do that. So in order for us to kind of make sure that these things are available, we're going to do them in runs of 10 or 20 at a time. So keep an eye out for that. So, getting back to this age thing, there's a couple things that interestingly happen all the time. First of all, people under or overestimate my age all the time, and the lack of experience that they think I have in anything. You know what I mean? As a person who runs a YouTube channel and talks about guitar stuff. What's really funny about that is I don't claim to be an expert at anything, because we are never, right? Like we never know everything. And so it's super fun to continue to learn things. This video we did yesterday was really fun because my mind was already made up before I made that video. And then I was a little surprised with it. That vibration thing, it kind of works. I cut it apart. It was $150. I cut it up. It's not usable now. I threw it in the trash this morning. It's an aquarium pump with an attitude, basically, like everybody said in the comments. But the concept was interesting, so I wanted to look into it, right? So you're always learning stuff, and that's what's really, really fun about all of this, right? Like that's what's fun about learning stuff and changing. When it comes to music tastes, when it comes to the instruments that we play, when it comes to the guitar choices that we make, whether you like relic instruments or not, whether you like wood guitars or carbon fiber guitars, whether you like tube amps or modelers or digital stuff or solid state stuff or whatever, all those choices are all fun. All of them are fun. Every one of them is fun. And so kind of the dogmatic attitude of things is sort of gets old after a while, and it's just really fun. I was thinking about yesterday while I was playing guitar. I literally played guitar all day yesterday. I watched football all day, but what I did do was I had a guitar with me at all times, and I had my little positive grid Spark Go, which is on sale. There is a link to it in the description. And I just played all day. I played a bunch of guitars. I didn't play all of my guitars, but I kind of made it through a bunch of them, and it was really fun. And I was like, every one of these guitars is different, and it's so cool. Somebody commented yesterday, they're like, it always is hilarious to me when somebody contradicts themselves with their guitar choices. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, that is dumb. So are you only supposed to like one thing? Because liking lots of stuff is really, really fun. Liking shiny guitars is fun. Liking relic guitars is fun. All these things are kind of fun. Until there is an age of mind. I swear it's like Jell-O when Jell-O gets cold. So if you think back when you're a kid, and I'm literally pulling this out of my ass right now. I just thought of this analogy. So if it doesn't totally work, we're all learning together. But when you're a kid and you like, everybody liked Jell-O when we were a kid. I think most people did anyway. And I don't know if you guys liked the chunky kind or not, like where they would put like fruit in it or whatever. But when they made that, at first, you could stir it, right? Like it would stir and stir and stir and stir, and they would put the fruit in there, and it would be all suspended in there, and you could stir it around, and you could put whatever you wanted in there. And then it would get cold to a certain point, and it would solidify. And I feel like somebody asked earlier, the age, what do you consider old? I consider old the age, whatever that is. It could be 19 if you are this kind of person, or it could be 85 if you're a really open-minded person. Whatever age your Jell-O in your brain solidifies and is no longer open to thinking about and learning new things. And where I see it come up a lot, which honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I totally shut off. Like, I will not engage in any positive way. And anyway, really, anybody who gets in any comment section on any subject, anywhere, who starts it with, well, I've been doing this for X amount of years, I immediately no longer pay attention. No longer pay attention, because I don't care how long you've been doing something. It is possible for you to be wrong. You could do something wrong for 50 years. You could do something wrong for your entire life and learn today that you're not supposed to do something a certain way, or that there is another way to accomplish the same thing and it's fine. I don't care how long you have been doing something. I've been doing this for 40 years too. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, but I have been too. So bragging about experiment and expertise and I'm a professional, whatever, to me, it just has nothing. It has no credibility. If you're an expert in a court case, or if you're whatever, I can understand that, because there has to be like parameters for all this stuff. And you definitely want like a mechanic that knows what they're doing to work on your car, and you want credentials and that kind of stuff. So I understand the need to have those things, but I never understand the need to state them when trying to establish some sort of conversational dominance. It drives me insane. And I think I was just thinking about this today. Like, what came to this thumbnail was, it's so fun when you don't think about any of that stuff, right? Like, kind of, when you think about it, anything is more fun when you don't know anything about it. Like, just learning about something for the first time is fun. It's so fun. Of course, there are certain things that get better with skill, like skateboarding and surfing and, skiing and stuff. Like, when you suck, it kind of sucks, right? But what I'm talking about is like learning the academic things about anything is fun. It's really enjoyable if you are that kind of person. And if you're that kind of person, then don't get in the comments and be like, I've been doing this for so many years. I feel like, because personally, I don't need your approval. I don't care. And you don't need mine. Do you know it is possible? I'm just gonna say this. It's possible for you, without watching any YouTube videos, without Googling anything, to go and buy whatever guitar you want. You can do that. And you can be happy. Like, there you go. Go and do it. I mean, don't think that I have any power over anybody to make them make a decision about anything, or don't give me any kind of credibility to say a thing and then you have to do it that way. Don't ever take that from me. Like, don't ever take anything I say and give it that weight, right? Like, definitely check it against something else. Learn from somebody else. Put a bunch of different creators together. Like, if you watch a bunch of YouTube videos, put a bunch together and then come up with a thing. That's what I do with, I watch a bunch of different knife channels, and I watch a bunch of different coffee making channels because I'm a coffee nerd. Anything like that. What's the thing I've been learning about the most? I've been like deep diving into fountain pens lately. And every person will have a particular bias. Same thing with firearms. I will watch a bunch of different channels on a particular firearm that I'm interested in, and some people will hate it, some people will love it. I will take what I know about myself and empower myself to make a decision without them. And I will say, okay, that person said that person said that. I like that, and I like that, and I like that, but I don't like this. Why don't I like this? And actually think for yourself. Like literally think for yourself. Don't let this stuff get to you. Um, and just think for yourself and enjoy the hobby. I know I've been preaching this a lot lately, but I think it's been really important for me to continue to do all of this, to get these thoughts out of my head and to get these thoughts out to you. Because what I've been finding is there have been a lot of folks who have followed me for a long time, who suddenly are offended or upset or taken aback or whatever by some of the things that I say, um, like they're surprised. And I've always said these things. And maybe they all of a sudden don't like what I do anymore. Well, then go watch something else. I don't care. I just feel like that it's really important that you be yourself, that you be you, and that you, getting back to the age thing, allow for different things to be different and to enjoy a bunch of different things. And I know that this is super like not talking about guitar stuff, but it is, because it's what makes this community so awesome. And I'm grateful for all of you because of that. It's fun to learn new things. It is. Let's see. Let's get back here and do. I'm done learning everything and I know everything. Yeah, that's exactly. Let's see. Let me see if I'll pull a couple questions out of here really quick. So let your mind be jello, like the soft kind. Let people stir it up. Let, you know, after COVID, I stopped showering. That's funny. Are you planning on? Okay, we already got that part. Let's see. Can you do zebras in the black and white? Yes, we can. We talked about that. Dylan, hope all is well. I'm looking to swap out some Fender noiseless pickups in my MIM 60th anniversary deluxe Nashville Telly. Any of your one-off stuff for Tellys work for this build? We actually have a set of Nashville Telly pickups on the website right now, and they are amazing. And if you want something that sounds really good and does not sound like a noiseless pickup, you will like them. They are not super noisy. They are obviously, Dylan is 31. No. Let's see. Oh, I got a super chat. Hang on. So yes, we have that stuff. Thoughts on Dave's World of Fun stuff? You know, I have not watched that. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, I'm going through these comments to make sure I didn't miss any other questions. Who makes that LP Junior hybrid that you posted a picture with? I do. That is mine. Here's a question. Here is a question. I have been thinking about building a couple more guitars. So I will tell you right now that they're going to be $26.99. That's the price. Made in the United States. Everything's going to be awesome. Don't worry about that. Let me know if that's something that you are interested in. Because, yeah, the more we can make at once, the better it will be and the more quickly we can do them. So, of course, I will have Texas Toast helping me with some of that stuff. But yeah. I'm old and grumpy. I got a ton of experience and I'm always right. Yeah. Okay. I just really believe that people can um, people can be wrong for a long time, and not necessarily even wrong. Not just not open to new stuff. For example, okay, so and one of the things that made me think about this is guitar stuff is interesting because people want to stick so much to traditional stuff. Um, they want to stick so much to traditional stuff, but there's no reason to. Stuff is better now. Stuff is better now. So one of my friends is texting me telling me he just bought a CZ Shadow 2, I think. Um, Stuff is better now. Finishes are better now. Let me turn this on Do Not Disturb because he's gonna blow me up. There we go. Nothing. Stuff doesn't have to be nitrocellular anymore. Stuff doesn't have to be wood anymore. String technology has changed. Vintage style pickups are still amazing. I mean, that's what we do here, but the materials are not the same. So you're not ever gonna get, unless you have new old stock materials, um, actual vintage materials. So we have built our entire business. That's why it's called Dylan Talks Tone, the new vintage, because we get all of our vintage tones from new materials. Those sorts of things are things that people should be open to, I think. Amp technology is a huge one, where people get super stuck on, it's the way tube amps, blah, blah. I don't care. If it sounds good, it's funny. I can use something in a video 100 times and you wouldn't know if it was a tube amp or not, because I've done it and you don't know. But if one likes technology things, traditional things, that's okay. Absolutely. 100%. And I'm not saying anybody's wrong about anything. What I am saying is, if you like that stuff, that's cool. But don't do two things. Don't automatically discount anything that's different. And two, don't get on some kind of pedestal in some comment section and this is a hill I'm going to die on and make an enemy out of that. Just enjoy the community. Man, the Relic guitar thing, I bought that Mike McCready Strat, and I knew it was going to be like that because everybody's like that. Here's something interesting though. If you have a person, and this kind of goes for all things. If you have at least a lot of things in the guitar industry, if you have a person that plays a modern guitar, okay, like let's say, okay, like my PRS Fiore, or maybe a Kramer something, or Ibanez something, most of the time, those people will not get in a comment section and talk about how much they hate vintage guitars, right? Most of the time they won't, but it will go the other way, where somebody that likes old stuff will automatically jump on some high hill and talk about how they hate new stuff and vintage is the only way to go. The relicking thing blows my mind. I don't care what you like. I mean, I like new shiny guitars, and I have guitars that I don't want to scratch at all because I want them to be brand new looking. I have some guitars that I kind of don't care. And this is actually my first relic guitar, is this Mike McCready thing. And I love it. It's awesome. And I've articulated hopefully well enough the reasons why I think I like it. But what's interesting is people that like shiny guitars hate on relics, but people that like relic guitars never hate on shiny guitars. And what's interesting is, why? I don't get it. And people will say, Well, because you're like a vegan and you tell everybody that you play a relic guitar. No, I don't actually. I don't tell anyone. You can just see it from across the room. You can also see your new guitar, and I don't give you crap for playing a new one. So I don't understand that. Those are the kinds of things when I talk about old people being annoying. Those are the types. It's the mindset. Those are the kind of things that are like, just calm down, dude. It's cool. I like your guitar. I think it's awesome. Let's see. I really want to do an entire episode of this on why people think they have to be so practical about a hobby too. That's a weird one to me. I've been thinking about that a lot too. Why are people so like why are they so stuck on cost? I mean, practically, we have to be able to afford things. I get that. But does that not mean that you can't like something fancy? I mean, I want to know who here. Okay, let's do this. I will answer this super chat, Damien. Give me 1 second. Let's do this. I want to know what car was on your wall when you were a kid. Super chat from Damien. Thank you, sir. Hi, D. You said that you don't think you should have two guitars that sound the same. I pick it up a 2 and H3. Oh, cool. A second H335. I don't like the pickups, pearly gates, but love the pickups in my first one, 59s. What do you think? I think you should do whatever you want to do with that. I don't actually remember saying that. I guess I probably have said that you don't. Why would you have two guitars? What I mean when I say that, thank you for the super chat, by the way, Damien. When I say that I don't think you should have two guitars that sound exactly the same, I don't think you should. It's my opinion that I'm not saying I don't think you should. You can have whatever you want. I personally don't see the need to completely clone two instruments. That makes no sense to me. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. In that case, you've got one with a Bigsby and one without. You're going to be doing different things with those guitars anyway. I say put whatever pickups you want in it. A set of RDAFs, perhaps, which would be a little bit different than what's in the other guitar, but not so different because pearly gates are a little darker, right? Yeah, I agree, Mitch. Not everything is better. New stuff is not all new stuff is better, but it is though. So this is an interesting thing. All this new stuff, let's just take the guitar industry, for example, right now. We're not talking about anything else. All of it is better. All of it. Here's the thing though. In the old days, okay, Marshall had 4 or 5 models of amps. And it was basically how much power did you need? Fender, same thing. You had a Champ, you had a Princeton, you had a Deluxe, you had a Twin, a Super Reverb, a Bassman, a Bandmaster, and it was basically how big of an amp did you need, right? And then the guitars, there was 5 models, 6 models from each line, okay? And there was only a few brands that existed. So it was just like you could just buy, whatever was in your budget and whatever, like I need a bigger amp, I'm going to get a bigger amp, So it's not necessarily that it's just different now. Everything we have, all this modern stuff is better. The problem is that people think that because a product exists that they don't want, that is a bad product. And that is not true. A Line 6 Spider, you may think is a bad product. A Harley Benton, whatever, $200 guitar, I might think is a bad product. It's actually not true. If you're, what it is the market is so finitely segmented now, is that there is a product for each little demographic of person. And so there's tons of products out there that you don't want. They're not bad. None of them are bad. The new little Fender Mustangs, those things are not bad. They're amazing. They do amazing things. Do they do what you want them to do? Maybe not, but that doesn't make them bad. It just means they're not for you. Therefore, somebody else who is not the same guitar player as you, but that doesn't make them a bad product. Now, there are some terrible guitars that, like a Glary or something, or a Harley Benton, they are actually kind of terrible. And they've been overblown by their marketing, methods and stuff. But most guitars and amps from reputable companies are great. They're just not for you. So most of this new stuff is good. Most of it is. Let's see. There was a question in here. Hang on. Oh, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go back and look at see what was on people's Van Shank. Hang on. Super chat. You had a Dodge Charger General Lee. I had one of those too for a while. Okay, so let's look. Let's look at what you had on your wall. This is going to be fun. Dodge Viper, 69 Camaro, X-Wing Fighter, cool. No, that does count. We'll talk about this in a minute. X-Wing Fighter. Let's see. McLaren F1, Pursuit Special, Stealth, so aeronautics, 66 Mustang. You had a Cessna and a 747 cockpit photos. Okay, cool. Okay. Lamborghini Countach and a 930 Turbo. Excellent. That's kind of more my speed. We had, let's see, what else? A Countach. It was the 80s. Agreed. Trans Am. Smokey and the Bandit. Space Capsules. Okay. XJ220. Fantastic choice. 997, 911. Wait, hang on. But okay, so you have a 911 now. You do not have an XJ220. AC Cobra. Girls also very cool. Porsche 917. Dig that very much. Okay, so what we're getting at here is there's a lot of fancy stuff here. Okay. I don't see anybody in this list who grew up in the 80s and had a Chrysler K car with fake wood on their wall. Okay. I don't see anybody that had a Plymouth Horizon, Chevy Chevette. What else? Nobody had, nobody had anything like that on their wall. Okay. Now here's another question. I already know the answer because there's probably not, I don't totally know the answer, but from a few of you, we already do. There's a few of you who have now grown up and gotten some of the things that they aspired to. It's possible. And I don't know. And you're willing to, if you're willing to comment about it, I invite it. Whoever had all of the aeronautic stuff on their wall. Are you an astronaut now? Are you in the aeronautics industry somehow? Are you a pilot? Were you in the military pilot? Are you a commercial pilot? Those sorts of things. Did you end up living that dream? For the most of us, my guess is that most of us do not have a Lamborghini Countach, do not have a Porsche 930 slant nose, do not have, I know there's probably, well, If you have a McLaren F1, please send me a message right now. I want to see that car. Do you have an AC Cobra or do you have a fake one? My point is this. I do work at NASA. See, that's very, very cool. I think that is amazing. My point is this, that the majority of people in the comments right now that are making all these comments, we dreamt. We had dreams of cool things. We liked cool things that sometimes we knew that we were never, ever going to have, but we still thought they were cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. So when you see somebody else playing a fancy guitar, an expensive guitar, a Gibson instead of an Epiphone, whatever, Fender, it doesn't matter. I do not care what we're talking about here. It's fine, no matter what you personally play, to want to aspire to have something cool. Put it on your wall, whatever. Why can't we still dream like that? I don't get it. I don't get why, even though I cannot afford a Dumble, I still want to think about having one, because maybe I will someday. I don't know. I just think it's super important. Hey, those Cobra kit cars are just as good as the real deal. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. These are the kinds of things, like, they're not. And we know that. And a kit car guy knows that in his heart, that his Epiphone Cobra is not as good as the real thing. He knows it. But for some reason, guitar people will not do two things. Let go of the fact that there are differences in price points and what stuff is, and it is for a reason. For the second thing, dream, aspire to be, save up, enjoy it. Like, good grief, man. Do you know, again, I don't talk about how old I am on the internet, but I had a Plymouth Acclaim. I have been doing this all my life. I grew up in in the early 80s, I remember being in a recording studio. Like, I've done this my entire life because of my family and my dad and everything. I didn't get my first brand new guitar until 2016. I started this business in 2011, and I still did not get my first brand new guitar until 2016. My Breedlove was my first brand new guitar ever. That's kind of why I wanted to buy it back. Sometimes it takes a long time to realize a dream, even if it's a $2,000 guitar or a $3,000 guitar or whatever. I want an Epiphone Ferrari. Let's see. An Epiphone Ferrari would be like one of those Fiero kits. Remember those? People made Fieros in their little like fake Ferraris. They were so terrible, but people loved it. There's whole car clubs of people that make those little fake Ferraris out of Fieros. That's pretty awesome. Amplified Nation would be a way to go. Actually, I'll tell you, my favorite Dumble-ish clone is he doesn't call them that, but they kind of are. Is Fuchs. I used to have a Fuchs ODS, and it was phenomenal. That was my favorite amp I've ever had. Yeah, I mean, this is just something that, and these are the things I think that that you think about, that I think about, like, if people were just to relax about all this stuff and just enjoy it, it would be way more fun. And it would be way more fun for me too, because I would make videos and be like, hey, check out this cool thing. And there wouldn't be some dumbass in the comments like, yeah, but you can get another one for $5 cheaper on Alibaba. Like, whatever, dude. I don't care. It's just cool, right? It's cool. I'm willing to spend the money and cut the thing apart. So isn't that cool enough? Like, come on, man. The last MR2. I don't like the last MR2. The last MR2 is had that, didn't they have the little bubbly headlights. Was a convertible only in about what 2000, maybe 2002 or something. Wasn't a fan of that. Like a High Point that thinks it's a Sig. I don't know. Sig 320's got just as high of a muzzle uh, center. I actually really like Sigs. I got a bunch of them. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway. So, Dave, let's talk about this. People don't like my analogies, and they don't really like it when I talk about guitars stuff with cars. Guitars and cars are vastly different in terms of engineering complexity, importance, and construction components, etc. I get your point. However, the way they're marketed to human beings, we are just human beings buying stuff that we like, is the same. So you have uber practical guy who is going to like nickel and dime every purchase, who is going to buy the base model Toyota Tercel with the roll-up windows, right? And he's going to look at Consumer Reports, and he's going to like watch Consumer Reports and push up his glasses. And if it doesn't have enough red zeros, he's not going to, little red circles, he's not going to buy it. And if it doesn't have enough gas mileage, he's not going to buy it, and whatever. And he does not care. That is all he cares about, that he can get it for this price and that it's the cheapest thing and that it doesn't matter, right? It still does the thing. It still gets him back and forth to work. It still transports him from A to B, and it makes sense. Yes, a Toyota Tercel, whatever, Yugo, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Really stripped down car, K car from the 80s, gets you back and forth, and it's fine. And it will be a really, really high seller because it does the thing for most people. I'm not most people. If it doesn't have 400 horsepower, I don't want it. If it doesn't go around a corner, I don't want it. If it doesn't make a cool noise, I don't want it. Like, that's me. So that's what I shop for. And sometimes I have to compromise because you have to pay for that. So I have to get like a cheaper, older one or something. But still, you know, I think those things, you can still dream and see those levels of involvement and purpose and what's the word? Like, it just use case is different, right? Like my philosophy of use for a vehicle, it may be different from yours. My philosophy of use for guitar might be different from yours. I'm not as good as other people that play guitar, but it doesn't matter. I still like them and I think they're cool. So I'm going to have the cool stuff. And that's going to be me in general. I like cool things. I do not use a Bic pen because there is a cool thing that can do the same thing. And if there is a cool thing that I think is neat and cool and how it's made and how it works, that's why. Not because it's expensive, but because it's neat. All right, we're talking pens. So this is my latest fountain pen. So this is a little pocket EDC fountain pen. Titanium, engineering, super cool, big idea designs. It's a cool thing. I like it. It's neat. Could you get something that does something for cheaper or whatever? Yeah, absolutely you could. Is it leaking? I haven't used it in a couple of days. Sometimes they... Nope, it's not. I was making that up. Anyway, yeah. So anything like that, I think it's cool. It's just a matter of what you're into, really. No lie. The new GR Corolla is gnarly. It is gnarly. I don't think I can own one though because they're so little. and I need something that I can travel like longer distances in. But I did look at those; they're really cool. It's alive. Anniversary pickups in the rose gold LP light. Dude, please do me a favor and post a picture of those in the Facebook group and maybe on Instagram and tag me if you would, because I would love to see that. I use a Fisher Space Pen. Yeah, those are cool. I actually, Leslie has a Fisher Space Pen. I have one too. I don't carry it very often, but I do have one that lives on my desk. Do you use cartridge fountain pens or bulk fill? Um, I have this one is bulk fill. Most of them are bulk fill. I have a a couple that aren't, but most of them are bulk fill. Leslie has a what does she have? I just got she has a Diplomat that is a cartridge, and I have a Lamy Safari that's cartridge, and then I have a bunch of other stuff that's bulk fill. Yep. Cool. Yeah, fountain pens are fun. Cool, man. Well, you guys, this has been fun. Monteverde. The other pen that I've got over there is a Monteverde, and I think that's got a cartridge in it right now, but I have a converter for it, so I'll probably convert it. What are your thoughts on refillable fountain pens? Do you think that the ultrafine tips are functional? I prefer a fine myself. So this one is extra fine, and it's a little fine for me. My Monteverde that I have is fine, and I like that. I have a Pinnator that's fine. Pinnator that's fine. I like that one. Um, yeah, I like a fine, but not ultra fine. If I was to buy, I don't have any Japanese pens. All of my nibs are German. So if I were to get a Japanese pen, I would probably get a medium fine to go up one notch just a little bit. Luckily, you don't have to wife much. Oh, write much. Um, oh, I write a lot actually. I journal every day. I have pages and pages. I write a lot. Yeah, yep. I write a lot, a lot. Awesome. Let's see. Apple versus Windows. Leslie has Windows for her work computer, but we have Macs for everything else. It's easier. The ecosystem is easier for us, and of course I edit video and photos all the time, so that's easier for me. With I did have a Windows computer with and I used Adobe Premiere for a couple of years, but I just ended up going back to Final Cut on a Mac, and I just really enjoyed it a lot more. I have a Pelican 140. Ooh, I don't have a Pelican. I would like to get one of those. Hello from Germany. Hi, I'm a bassist. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. That's awesome. We don't have enough bassists around here, actually. I don't really do a lot of bass content, and yeah. Awesome. You guys, this is super fun. Yeah, I use a field notes. I do have one field notes, but I actually have a full size journal that I write in also. And I typically keep it by the couch, and just when something hits me, I just write it down. And that's, like the other day, like planning for a video, like what am I going to put in a video? How am I going to, is there going to be any, how am I going to shoot it? Sometimes I don't shoot all the stuff at the same time. Like, for example, the video that we did yesterday was over a week. So in order for me to shoot the intro and the outro and everything in the right order, and oh crap, I need to cut this thing open. But once I cut it open, then I can't get the pictures that I need for this or this or that. So literally to kind of game all that stuff out. And I could do it on my iPad. Leslie journals on an iPad. She writes, I mean, volumes on her iPad. She has an iPad Pro with a pencil, and she volumes on her. She will not use, almost will not use a regular pen. The only reason I gave her a couple of pens is because, like when you're out and you need to sign a receipt or something, when you're out away from the house. But man, I have to write it. Like I just have to write it and cross it out and write it. And I have lists. So like every morning I'll get up in the morning and write a list of all the pickups that I'm going to make. And I knew what I was going to make today. And so my son works for me too. So what is he going to do today and all that kind of stuff? I have to write all of that. So I write a lot. I write a lot. And for some reason, I see all of you talking about digital stuff. It's really funny because here we are talking about like new technology and like thinking it's all cool and everything. But the writing notes thing is the one thing I can't digitize. My schedules, all of my bill paying, of course, almost everything in my life is digital. And maybe that's why. Maybe you have to have that one thing like an acoustic guitar and a fountain pen. Right? That like stays analog. And my kitchen knives and my knives too are the same thing. I sharpen everything manually. I don't have any fancy machines. So maybe there are some like super analog things that I have to have just to keep that sanity. And maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's kind of funny. Oh man, I love it. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you probably on Monday.